So I was gonna write this down, but then I didn't. I couldn't think of how to do it. And but yeah, there was this story that I was gonna write of this time in kindergarten when the story of how I really fucked up a Christmas card that I was supposed to write for an assignment in kindergarten. And this was in December. I imagine it was in December. And our teacher, I remember at the time, like, I didn't understand that she was like not in a good mood, but in retrospect, like, I remember her gestures and like how she was talking and moving and stuff, and I can see now in retrospect that she was like really frazzled, that just it was a bad day for whatever reason, probably because she's teaching kindergarten. And she gives us this assignment that we have to make these Christmas cards that we're gonna, on construction paper that we fold in half with all the crayons and whatever, and glitter and glue, and she makes it sound as though if we fuck this up, we're gonna be abandoned. Like, we're just gonna be shipped off to foster homes. Like, this is the most important thing in town. And so we get to work, whatever, and we have to do a drawing, and we have to write this little message for our parents. And so I start writing the message, and I get to the word "the," and I realize I don't know how to spell the word "the." So I go up to her, and she's dealing with a bunch of kids, and now when I see her clearly in my head, and I'm like, God, this woman is having a horrible day. But as a kid, I didn't see that. So I go up to her, and I said, Miss, I forget her name, I said, how do you spell "the"? And she like snaps at me, and she goes, sound it out. I went back to my desk. I remember it was like this big circular table with a bunch of kids, and I sit down, and I just go, like Q? Like, I couldn't think of, like, where does that sound come? And I started to panic, because I was like, I don't want to fuck this card up, because I'm not going to have a family anymore. And so I just over and over like a fucking snake with a lisp. And I'm weeping at this table with all these kids, but a weeping kid in a room full of kindergartners they don't give a broken fuck why you're crying. It's the most anyways. So I start freaking out, and I'm like, I just remember putting my head in my hands and thinking, for like the first time in my life, I am so fucked. Like, there was just there was just no way around it. And so I thought, okay, all right, I'll write a Happy Merry Christmas kind of thing without using the word "the." All right, I'll work my way around it. Basically, my writing process to this day, which is just, spend a few minutes weeping about my incompetency and then you can get to work. So I'm thinking, okay, what's a message I can write? And like, working around the fact that I don't know how to spell the word "the," but I only knew how to spell like 6 other words, and I don't remember I know one of them was cat and another was hat, but I don't remember what the other ones were. I ended up writing some nonsensical shit and drawing something just as hideous, and I remember presenting it to my mother with like the most, like, just the worst shame on earth, and she looked at it and she was like, oh my God, I love it, whatever. And I remember she gave me such praise for it, and I was just thinking as she was looking at it, like, a liar. Like, just think like, oh, she loves me too much to tell me. Although, when I think about it, yeah, I'd be thrilled too. Like, if you had like a kid, like, you'd create, maybe it's just interesting to have a kid, like, no matter how hideous the card is, if you gave life to this thing, and then one day it's like, Mira, just this card with however fucking hideous, maybe you'd be thrilled about it. I don't know. But so that's the story about how I fucked up a Christmas card.